Top one, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the custom card reviews on Portal Swamp. I know that in one of the videos that I did last time I did this, one of you guys or girls commented that you had. Give me a moment to find that up. This commenter on my last custom card that I did before was this person says that this is giving me Enderman vibes all over again. Sad face. Try something. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I'm not trying to be mean to you or any of you, but the this deck has they basically has their own similar effects thing. It's just I was trying to go for a story, not for like the true card effect, basically. You don't see like someone's sister brings out her brother. So let's begin with a story. So the story goes like there's two people that are two girls. One of them was Claire, and then Anna. And Anna basically is such a girly girl because she had one boy literally wants to walk up to her and told her that she and him should go on a date and all that stuff. Yeah. Then there's a bully. The female bullied them, and one day she had enough. So they were walking home. They see a pool of purple goo, and it was Portal Swamp. So it's supposed to be like a portal. So they decided, or actually the bully decided to push both of them in. But it backfired. As all three of them went in. One grabbed the other, her, and they both fall into the purple goo. And they came out mutated, like they were mutated into monsters, animals, everything. There was Claire turned into a Cyclops. Portal Swamp Cyclops. With her friend, and now it transformed into the girly girl. And then the bully transformed into a snake girl. Oh. And so they could not remember who they were. So, but then of course, they walked into town. As it, he see, or actually, humans saw them. They screamed in horror as they called, or actually, before they even, like, because their other friend witnessed it, because they're, yeah, she was a little weakest one of the bunch, as she could not believe that the three of them fell into the portal or the swamp. As she ran back to her, or she ran to the police station, and she told them that what happened. And it was too late. The monsters, as the witness tells, or actually, she saw a Cyclops, and she could tell the person's aura. She really doesn't care about the person's appearance, but yeah. So she ends up going into who, or she runs up to, like, Cyclops, and so she says, "Claire, is that you?" As she stops, as she turns around, as she says, you know me?" "Yeah, I'm your friend, and don't you remember?" "Remember? I was there. I was. I didn't realize that you were transformed." So yeah, all that stuff. And then, so the snake girl whacks her friend away, but she didn't realize she whacked her to the portal swamp. As the portal swamp transformed her into the Lord of the Swamp. It's basically her evolved form. And then she became a, let's just say she became a more dark person. The ultimate Lord of Portal Swamp. Yeah. And yeah. So I already have the what the design looks like, but I forgot to download it. So yeah. So then yeah. So the portal swamp became the field of the fallen ones. Yeah. So now, yeah, and then multiple creatures comes out. Like a guard of swamp. And yeah, creatures comes out. Big scary monsters. Monsters that were like they were so strong that could easily, as she commanded both monsters to go get all three of them. Girly Girl, the Cyclops, and the Snake Girl, as to bring them back. Heck. And so he did. And they said dunk them both into it at the exact same time. As they had rope wrapped around the Girly Girl and the Clops. As they both got dunked in together, as their minds, brains fused together, and it created a monster that can never be stopped, is unaffected by everything. It locks your opponent or locks everything out of existence. It doesn't allow you to do anything. The enemies of it fear it, scary, as it terrifies them. And then they decided to redo the the witness or the Lord of the Swamp infused Guard of Swamp with Snake Girl to create the creepy monster, as it was so terrifying. I saw it in my own dreams. It terrified me of what it truly looked like. You see it as coming out of the portal. It looked like the very horrifying version of Rainbow Friends, but on a whole nother level of horror. As the policemen and scientists are trying to convert the portal back to the normal swamp, they tried everything, but they worship the bird inside of a pot that has a portal through it, as it talks of how to shut the portal swamp off to convert those innocent souls back into the human body. So they did, and everything goes back to normal. Yeah. So if this story doesn't get to you, I don't know what will, because the it's basically two innocent no, there's a lot of innocent people that goes into the portal every or like on accident things. Like yeah. So now let's begin with custom cards. So let's start with one of the main characters. Her name is Claire, but aka Cyclops. Or actually, in this story, or in this thing. So, if your opponent activates a card effect, you can reveal this card from your hand. Special summon it to your field. In attack mode, if you do, negate that card effect and shuffle it into the owner's deck. Once per turn during in your main phase 1, shuffle one card from your graveyard, hand, or bandstone into the deck. This card gains that card's effects from your deck by this effect. Once per turn during your main phase or during the battle phase, this card loses 1,000 attack and defense. You take no damage from battles involving this card. Monsters or from anywhere. If it does, skip your opponent's next two draw phases. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck, look at your opponent's hand or deck, and then send one card from it to the graveyard or bandstone until the end of. Then you can add it to your hand. So yeah, the reason why her effect is like that is because she she tried to stop the bully from like getting like dragged in. Yeah. Then she gained a new effect. So the girly girl, if this card is or if your opponent activates a card effect, you can reveal this card from your hand. Special summon this card to your field in attack mode. If you do, negate that card effect and shuffle it into the deck, the owner's deck. Once per turn during either player's battle phase, this card loses 1,000 defense. Banish all cards from the field except portal swamp cards to the banish zone, and their effects are negated until this card leaves the field. If this card is in your graveyard or banish zone, you can pay 1,000 life points, special summon this card to the field in attack mode. If you do, skip your opponent's draw phase. And then the big hand. This is actually her hand, and because she got consumed by it. So during either player's draw phase, either player must pay 1,000 life points, add one card from their top of each other's deck to be sent to the battle zone. If it does, skip the opponent's or either player's battle phase for the player that uses the effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck or into your opponent's deck. Next, both players add two cards from the top of the deck or graveyard or banner zone to your hand. So Yeah, so this one, it's worded in a way of the how scary it is, because this card allows you to basically, it's dragging you into the your own madness. Has then a fusion spell card, or it has a like fusion like fusion summon fusion monster. This is part of the story where the Lord of the Swamp, or Ultimate Lord of the Swamp, tells his or her goons, it's a girl, her goons, to grab the girly girl and the all three. Yeah. But this one, it gives them the effect, or the fusion monster the effect of attacks your opponent's life points directly 3 times per battle. I know is kind of like it's basically infecting them with I'm gonna attack your main source. Boom. Yeah. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck. It's supposed to summon 2 portal swamp tokens to your field in attack mode. If you do, gain 1,000 life points. So, Eyeballs of Truth is basically infected them more and more. It can never be stopped. Oh. So, yeah. So, this card can only be activated. This is actually one of the creatures. If your opponent declares attack, you can pay 1,000 life points, negate that attack, and end their turn. End your opponent's turn. If you do, select one card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard or banner zone, shuffle this card into the deck. Draw 4 cards from the top of your deck. So, this one is basically, I'm going to grab your card, bring it to me, or as, yeah. And then the fusion monster that fuses the portal swamp with, or this card does, I said, it locks down your opponent, and basically, and yeah, and plus, that's it. If this card reflects battle damage, yeah. You could read that, right? You probably could stand up to your TV or your phone, like reads right there. You need monocles things. Yeah. So, then the snake girl, the bully, the female bully that is in this or in this custom card earn one. She's part of this story too, but she's the like a victim of her own selfish greed. So if your opponent activates a card effect, you can reveal this card from your hand. Supposed to summon this card into the attack mode, or to your field in attack mode. If you do, negate that card effect and shuffle it into the deck. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can shuffle the one card from your hand, graveyard, or banner zone into the deck. Add one Portal Swamp card from anywhere to your hand. If it does, skip your opponent's main phase 1. If this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 100 life points. Special summon this card in attack mode. Yeah, and yeah, so this one, the Ultimate Girly Clops, has a unique thing that I haven't never done in like any of my custom cards, but this card, its level is treated as, or is set to 24. So, yeah, because the reason why is because of these two. So, yeah. Must be fusion summon. If this card is special summon, you can pay 1,090 points to negate all card effects from your opponent's field and hand. Once per turns, if your opponent summons a monster... What? Okay. Hold on. Just... Sorry about that. Yeah. So, yeah. So this one is weaker than the brain one, because this one allows you to basically summon, when it's special summon, pay 100 life points to negate all card effects from your opponent's field and hand. And once per turns if your opponent summons a monster or monsters to their field, this card loses 1,000 attack points, negating that card or that summons, and then skip your opponent's turn. And yeah, it's kind of weaker than that card, but yeah. So, plus, it special summons it, but it's set to that. So, this one gains like 500 attack and defense for each Portal Swamp card from your field and or hand or graveyard or banner zone. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck. You can add one spell or trap card from your graveyard banner zone deck to your hand. If it does, then you gain 5,000 life points, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And you could read all this. So, yeah. All this cards is basically protecting a specific monster. The girly girl. And then the next one is the Lord of the Swamp. I'm not going to use the full name because it's called Portal of the Swamp. It's all in the names of them. So, if your opponent declares any attack, you can reveal this card from your hand, special summon it to your field in attack mode. If you do, negate the attack and end their turn. If this card is in your graveyard, or Banner Zone, you can shuffle this card into the deck. Select 3 cards from your deck or graveyard or Banner Zone to your hand. If it does, skip your opponent's main phase 2. So, yeah. Then a field spell allows you to basically make, because this, I actually never made a card that allows you to, or allows your monsters to basically gain attack and defense for each time you use their effects. And you can select one monster from, yeah. So you could read all of this. So, yeah. I'm just letting you read. So, yeah. So, so now the monkey hand. This must be a broken card, because this card allows you to basically, every end phase that you have, your opponent must send 3 cards from their deck or hand, banish them to the Great Banish Zone. If it does, then you gain life points. Then this card's effects cannot be negated by card effects or cannot be sent to the graveyard or Banish Zone. And if you have this card on the field, you can special summon 2 Portal Swamp monsters from anywhere to your field. And yeah. And then the creepy monster has select 2 cards and then banish them to the Banish Zone. And if you do, this card does something. Yeah. Here, I'll let you even read the effect. Okay? So, do you have subtitles turned on? I forgot to ask. So, yeah. Most of these cards, like this one, Happy Day, were inside of what it looks like of the Portal Swamp. So, if this card is normal or special summon, you can and select 1 card from your graveyard or Banish Zone or hand, shuffle it into the deck. And then you activate one of these. And these, they're basically broken in their own way. So like the first one, your opponent's life points are set to 100. Because it's basically, I took a little bit of like Winged Dragon or Raw's like effect, where but instead of like taking all of those cards or taking all of those life points away, you just do that. And I'll give you the read. And then, yeah. Then we got the Fallen. If your opponent declares attack, you can shuffle one from the field or graveyard to your balance or to your deck. Negate that card effect and end your opponent's turn. If you do, you can add 1 spell card from the top of your deck, graveyard, or Banish Zone to your hand. If you, yeah, If this card is in your graveyard or banish zone, shuffle it, then draw 3 cards. Yeah. Then we got part of the Portal Swamp. That allows you to basically... It's basically a better version of Pot of Greed, but yeah. If this card is activated, you can shuffle all cards from your graveyard and banish zone into the deck. And then you draw 6 cards from the top of your deck. If it does, skip your opponent's battle phase until the 3rd turn. If this card is in your graveyard or banish zone, you can shuffle this card into the deck, special summon one of the such anywhere to your field. And if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that special summon monster's attack points by this effect. So, like, if you summon this, or this, that would be, like... And then we got the Witness Girl. She's only a light monster in this archetype, but she transforms into a dark monster when she fell in. Yeah. If your opponent declares an attack or activates a card effect, you can reveal this card from your hand. Special summon it to your field in attack mode. If you do, negate that attack or activation of a card effect. If it does, then shuffle them into the owner's deck and end your opponent's turn. Once per turn, during either player's battle phase, this card loses 100 attack points. Negate all card effects except Portal Swamp cards effects, and if you do, add 2 cards. And then this one is basically special summons 3 monsters. And this one is basically if your opponent activates or declares an attack, you can reveal this card from your hand and special summon this card or it to your field in a defense mode, actually. If it does, negate that card effect or attack, shuffle it into the owner's deck. So I'm skipping all the way to Okay. Okay, so from the top of their deck to their great hand. If this card is in your graveyard, or banish zone, you can shuffle this card into the deck. Your opponent must discard 10 cards from the top of their deck to their graveyard. If it does, skip your opponent's draw phase. So that would be crazy. Easy, first of all. You can activate this card or send it to the grave. You can make a pizza pocket. Like, if you had 3 of these and you summon them before and then banish them, or like send them to the graveyard and then use their effects to That would be like 30 card mill. Oh. But there is one thing. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna make one special card called Portal Swamp Backstory. Backstory. You know how like all cards have their own separate card artworks inside of another artwork thing? Like how Ojamas are literally inside of like almost every card. Like they are in the Harpies hunting grounds, Ojama country, and like all that stuff. So that's what I was trying to go for, but after someone said that about the giving them a weird vibe thing all over again, and they're unique in my own way, because after I make that, this entire archetype will be done with. So, because I think of my own cards with like custom artwork thing that I made is like a story to me. You might not know about all these stories, like backstories to all the cards. So I wanted one that is based off of a custom story that I'm working on. So yeah, because it is pretty broken, and to say the least. Yeah, so if you guys think this story is too crazy for you, I'm okay with that. And plus, if you guys want me to do another custom archetype after I make the final spell card for it, it will be called on the backstory. So it would be if you have her and her and her and the witness is in your hand or on the field, you automatically win the duel. Or something like that. It's not gonna be along the effect thing. It's more of like, oh, I'm gonna add this card or this card. How do you feel about it? And yeah, I'm not trying to be rude to all of you, but the oh, I forgot about these. This one. So this is a trap card called Portal Swamp Reborn. It's a unique type. Like if your opponent sends a monster from their hand or deck to the graveyard or battlezone, you can shuffle one Portal Swamp card from anywhere into your deck, special summon it to your field in attack mode. And it gains this name of Portal Swamp monster or Portal Swamp. And if it does, then discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's or from your opponent's deck of his or her choosing to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card. Yeah. Then draw 4 cards instead of the normal draw phase for the rest of the duel. So this card is broken because you basically draw 4 cards per duel. And that stuff. No. And plus you gain the attack point, or you gain it. Now this is the Ultimate Portal Swamp. She's a dark, level 8, Galaxy XYZ effect monster. And and there's one neat detail. Those eye things, the white parts, this part that's around her eyes, those are actually teeth. I wanted to make it look like I don't know, those ones from like Demon Slayer where she's demonic thing. But this one it needs 2 level 4s or 8 Portal Swamp monsters, or overlay on top of the Portal Swamp Lord of the Swamp monster. Must be XYZ summoned. If this card is special summoned, detach 1 XYZ material from this card. Add 1 spell or trap card from your deck or graveyard or banistone to your hand. If you do, this card gains that card's effects for 1 from your hand by this effect. This one is also a single one, is you can detach 2 cards from, like, 2 materials from this card. You can add 2 card monsters from your deck or banistone or graveyard to be attached to them, or to this card, and treats them as a XYZ materials. If you do, this card gains their combined attack points. If this card is sent to the grave or banistone, you can shuffle this card into the extra deck instead of the graveyard or banistone. It's supposed to summon the XYZ materials from anywhere to your field in attack mode. So basically it's trying to do is like, oh, I'm gonna add this card. Like if you add Sangan and a Witch of Black Forest to it, and to be attached to this card. And I don't know if Sangan, because I know that Sangan needs to go from the field to the graveyard, but I don't know what it is. So, yeah, this card is pretty powerful. So, I am actually gonna do something that I haven't done before. Gonna make a custom card on the video thing. So, yeah. Give me a moment. So, this is the question for you. What should I add to this one? I know I make it unique, but here, I'll just write it out. If this card is activated. I always have to say it. I already know the power hour that I keep popping up with is that the is that the oh wait, I screwed up on this part. So it just needs that card, but if they get sent to the graveyard or banish zone on home or hand slash deck, shuffle whopper, shuffle this card here, pause. So yeah, this card is pretty broken, this one. So if this card is activated, you can special summon this card or special summon 3 monsters, and if they get sent to the graveyard or battlefield or hand or deck, shuffle this card into the deck from anywhere, and you win the duel. Yeah, so most of these help the archetype, and this one is for everyone, so yeah. And each one of these cards, like each one, represents like how the story will play out. It will be good is in blue. The bad is in the red. That's why there's corners. But there's a ritual or for the like arrows things. For these 4 arrows with smiley faces on them it represents like different things. Like how a compass is. Ritual, fusion, synchros, and XYZs. Yeah. So, yeah. That's only if like it's from anywhere. So that's why I don't want to put it as everywhere. Special summon this card and then yeah. Let me fix that up part because you all are probably gonna hold on. And then let me see. I know. From anywhere to your field. Now I'm gonna save. Here we go. So, sorry if I like cut that part out, um, of writing all this stuff. So, yeah. So now this card is done. The entire archetype's done because it's basically a story. The entire archetype is based off of a story that I will create. And yeah. So here. And that card, the one that this one is based off of this spell card thing that I made. Or not I made, but what the old school Yu-Gi-Oh players used to make. Because what I believe that harpy ladies that are like in the modern or in the old school Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe they're just mirrors, like the holograms of like the harpy ladies in this archetype or in the Yu-Gi-Oh, because if they are in the like mirror room where it's complicated, it would be like if that's true about them being like, oh, I'm gonna use the reflection thing. It's basically the spell card is a mirror, giant sized mirror where harpies come out of. Did you ever thought about that? If you not, that's okay. It's the. Did you ever notice? There's always like mirrors of the. Like, look, they're just all holograms. See? Because these are just like glass rooms, like mirrored ones. So if everyone in this, like watching this video, tell me that I'm right on that harpy ladies are should be called clear wing or clear archetype, because they came out of the mirrors. They came out of the glass. Heck, that's what I believe in. The mirrored card. That's a clear world stuff. So if harpy ladies are technically would be clear harpy lady. If you guys want me to do a special card called like clear harpy, it would have to be a similar to clear wing or no, clear dragon or whatever that one. And where I don't know how it is, but this is what it is, okay? So, bye-bye. Peace out, y'all, and have a good night or day, depends on the time zone. Bye.